Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Game 2 starts right now.
East to southwest trajectory. Wailing Woods pretty close to the beginning of the bus, which means a handful of those liquid players, they do tend to the northeast corner of the map. They're going to get down pretty quick, which means I expect to see them in the feed earlier than other players if they do land in a kind of a hotter drop. Retail, and you have people floating down to Paradise already. Fatal is going to get occupied. I'm curious if the cube is going to come into play again at some point over the course of the day. We're just getting started.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. As you see a beautiful look at that free camera, just watching around where people are going. Landjuck says, I just want to stay alive. Apparently, staying alive means landing near Tomato Temple.
Flower, I think, picking up potentially the first elimination of the game gets Prodigy Aces. Topway and Fade both picking up an early elim as well. In landing zones.
And right there, instantly picking up the ammo box. That's something that's actually so key in these games because we reference ammo so often. And what already a 3-person rift use? In a panic situation, it looks like, if I had to guess, Cryo started engaging people with this TAC shotgun. And then they popped a rift to try to get out. One of the enemies popped a rift to get out, and it looks like it was a good way to disengage the fight. They'll live to see another day.
Cryo, you have to remember, was the player that won the coin toss from day 3 qualifiers. Hoping to put on a good show. That coin flip determined whether or not he was making it here. Gave a coin flip for $5,000 as well, no matter what place he lands. GS Brandon here, a number of players landing here at retail, and they kind of all chose their own home and said, okay, I'm going to loot everything here before I push out. Everybody else, please stay inside your homes as well. It's like a gentleman's agreement almost sometimes. You very rarely see someone drop in at a house in retail in competitive games, get even just a single chest, and then immediately push to engage, because you might be missing out on other loot in the house. They're going to take their time, you know, smack all the furniture inside the house. Hysteria here. We talked about Hysteria lanes greasy very consistently.
It's our spot. We're the greasy boys.
Northwest corner, and actually the first circle, kind of a northwest focus.
I'd probably fire. But no, either way, over towards the racetrack. Multiple clingers coming on out. Remember, clingers recently updated. Now act a little bit differently when you stick 2 on a wall. As instead of them both instantly exploding, once the first explodes and destroys the structure, the second will fall down from there and then cling onto the next thing that's there. So instant explodes are a little bit tougher to have happen now. That's Tyler's from yesterday, just backing on up. Didn't have the best game 1, looking to rebound here.
Punisher in Pleasant Park. We had a look earlier. It looked like roughly 4 players were out here. You see there, wow, what a quick swap from the player inside the box. Punisher takes control of the wall, but his opponent re-angles the ramp inside to act as like a second layer to protect him just from that window peek that Punisher was going for. An excellent play there from Rio, but he's going to rotate around underneath, and Punisher is tracking him, following, trying to get another wall replacement. Rio staying on top of ownership of those surfaces, and Punisher's going to have to find a second angle, and he almost does the window there, but Rio's edit there. He swaps and changes the angle of the ramp to act as protection from Punisher's push.
Yep.
Punisher's going to have to find a good angle here. Rio's clearly on top
right here
with his edits. The top down.
They actually bounce off each other. Punisher swapping back to the shotgun. Another tag. They're both so low.
How many HP?
38. Rio with the elim. He'll go ahead advantage on up. This is Wheats. Wait, what?
The Kobe nade kill shuts it down. A single one gets
the grenade kill from 81 meters.
Goes for a second. If he gets us, are you kidding me?
No, there's no way.
Close, close, close. Aiden, tilted towers. Not surprising, which means Nick Merckx.
Oh my goodness.
1v1 round again. 2.
This is going to happen all day. Aiden, each time he's fought Nick so far, has been at max HP. He continues to put himself in great positions to have the advantage. Nick now waiting, listening, knowing it's got to be Aiden nearby. These guys know what skins they wear. They know the routes they like to take. You think whoever wins this fight will claim Tilted Towers for this game. When Nick hears that chest open, he knows exactly where Aiden is. Here comes the engagement again. So far, Aiden eliminated Nick back in game 1, and Nick looking for vengeance right now. Trying to spray on down with the LMG. Aiden building walls. Nick in the engagement. The tag. The shield's now gone for Aiden. Nick with the advantage up to this point. He's got to push the agenda here. The crowd getting behind Nick Merckx. You hear the chant going out of the background. Nick has matched the build. build. Aiden with the high ground. Nick 132 HP. I believe Aiden has just a little bit less. But as I say that, you see Nick with a little bit of a grimace there as he gets tagged for 60. The 1v1, the quick block there. The battle of the century. Two of the best controller players in the world going at it. Aiden down to 2 health. He's going to have to big shield here. Nick wants this fight. I can tell you, he wants to tie this 1v1 battle up at 1-1. Aiden now on the high ground of the building. Nick, I believe, is disengaging for the moment. I'm sure he heard that big shield, Lupo, and that might have been enough to scare him off. What comes to the chest to slurp, as the crowd knows just how good that'll be. That'll put him up to 77 HP as they've just disengaged. They'll both live to see another day. Oh my goodness, Lupo.
Players of this caliber, are you kidding me? Players of this caliber trading shots like this, disengaging. We're going to see these two, I guarantee you, before this circle closes, the next time. They will end up having to fight each other again. Round 3 almost, and Aiden's going to drop on the outside. These drop downs, placing the floor to stop himself from taking any fall damage. He's going to end up 176, 177 HP total here. I
feel like this crowd is fine with just a $1.5 million Nick Merckx and Aiden only in Tilted tournament.
1v1 in Tilted all day.
As they're both going to go ahead, reset. They're the only two here, I think.
You have a couple
There's a couple people now
on the outside.
But that's why they're just like, there's so much loot still on the map that they know, oh, this hasn't been touched, this hasn't been touched. Will they come across each other again soon? Last we saw, Nick still didn't have shields. Here's 72 hours. Let's see how this went for him. He's got the Chug Jug ready to go. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, that is... just a heads up, that's not good, actually. Blowing yourself up with a Glimmer. Oh, replays with a quick scope the other day. Feels some of the counter shot there from Painful PvP.
We've got Flower from Rogue. 2 eliminations already, which means the third one will pick him up a single point. Aiden still back here.
Oh my goodness.
But round 3.
Round 3.
Nick Merckx versus Aiden. 2 controller titans hanging out in Tilted Towers.
Here's the thing though, Nick has no shields. He basically needs Aiden to walk on into the double barrel and say hello. He's waiting. They are 1 pixel away. Aiden charges in. The spray! Aiden again at 20 HP. And this crowd erupts again.
Look at the loot next to him too. He already has a rip to go, a second rip to go on the ground, and the bait to swap there.
If Nick has any shields or if Aiden doesn't have 200 health, you gotta think it's done. And look at Nick, realizes just how close he was. Aiden chant going out. There was a Nick Merckx chant. This is the battle of everything right now in these early games.
Absolutely unbelievable. The launch pad and escape against Laser. Dremen trying to make it away, but the accuracy of whoever, the multiple players down there in Salty Springs say it's not time to leave yet. You got to come back, and he's going to have to box himself in, make numerous layers so he can get a couple of these heals off. He has a slurp, multiple minis, so he can get a good buffer back up, but there are people around him. He's got Wheats underneath. Vactor's taking shots from a distance over there. He has an opportunity now. Looks like they left him alone. Now this is Tyler's, a player we've had our eyes on after previous gameplay, but we'll see here Jay Cuddy. Accurate shots from underneath. The SMG spray just right on point, and a rocket off the wall. As Tyler tries to layer, you saw he went for the floor placement there. It wasn't enough, not fast enough. X's from Trouble Boys building up in a 1v1 against Tempo. A very, very good player here. Both of these guys,
I love
excellent builds.
Every time the crowd sees that one of the names involved in the fight, they just go, oh my God, you know, like, they just know how much it means. I thought he was going to try to style with that hunting rifle for a second.
Backing out.
In the elimination feed, Wheats goes down, Sakairos goes down, and Mac also falls. The lobby down to 59 players left. The second zone about to begin to close.
At this point, 30 seconds. The choice of engagement here, if neither players have 2 eliminations, I don't think either of them want to fight each other. You're going to see an early rotation out from, like, here, Tempo deciding now's the time to move. This isn't good for either of us, so let's move forward.
Saw that big shield. This is Takada in a fight with someone here. It's actually Nate Hill, and has the instant beam to earn the 3 elims too. Nate Hill, if you saw, was, you know, in that top 5, or I believe actually second after game 1. Does fall early here, but even though he does fall early here, Lupo, he's still in a brilliant position I'm sure, in our standings after this.
1, 2, 3, even 3 bad games, not necessarily the end of the road here for these players, because 6 games, anything can happen. We've seen multiple people shine in the qualifiers.
Wow.
People come from behind, even like players like Saint, who didn't even engage very often. He had no eliminations, but managed 3 points during his qualifiers to make it to the grand finals today. It's still anybody's game. Going for the snipe midair. Are you kidding me?
And as you guys saw for a second as we pulled up the map, this is a Loot Lake ending. Kayun continues to fight these big names and continues to come out on top, as Poach just got sniped by Kayun to be eliminated in game 2.
That's Kayun's second elimination, which means 1 point soon for him if he manages the third.
Fails the build.
Drop down.
Uh-oh. He does have medkits. He can survive through the storm, but that's a quick tag down to 70. The battle coming on in. The pump does not connect. He's got to reset for the high ground. He knows it as he looks to build on up. Remote explosives!
Perfect placement in the middle of that. Dremin walks right in it.
And you see the frustration there. Dremin, first elim on the board.
Now, currently there are 2 players with 3 eliminations, Top Boy and Takata, which means a single point apiece for them.
But
Kayun
actually,
has a point
as you mentioned, Top Boy just got knocked out. So both players with 3 elims just dropped.
A plethora still with 2. We have 5 players currently alive with 2 eliminations there you see on your board. A lot of them relatively close to the zone, except for Rio, 400 meters away still. He's sitting pretty on HP and shield, but he's going to have to rotate relatively quickly. Might have been the most replaced structure I've seen at the factories there at Loot Lake. We took a look for a second, but Horrify stuck up top, taking a moment. Any seconds he has to pop any heals possible, they're going to go for it. He tried to place the bounce pad on the way down to prevent any fall damage. Didn't need to. Takes the bounce pad in that situation though. Tries to rotate away. Gets tagged midair as this 1v1 against X is kind of flirting with the edge of the zone. X is going to try and layer up so he can sneak in underneath Horrify, and Tempo is there as well.
And this is a beautiful spot for Tempo. Both these players pushing out of the zone. They've obviously been weakened quite a little bit. He drops Horrify down to just a couple shots left. X and Tempo are both like, hey, I want this. No, this one's mine. As they continue to spray down, Horrify is just in a terrible spot. Tempo not really peeking too much from the other side. Can't drop down this structure as of yet. There it goes. No, it's still locked in.
It looks like it's attached to the 3rd point there. X is hoping to drop Horrify out in the open. Actually, during that, as Horrify was building up, X has had a moment there where he could have whipped a shotgun shot. And if Horrify was very low HP, it could have been an elimination already and put him at 2, but it looks like a hesitation caused him to not go for it. And he's going to have to back out of this, I think, 60 seconds. And looking at the potential zone movement here and the chance that there's a 3rd player, if he knew Tempo was there, saying that I need to move away now and secure the safe zone rather than go for this. And nobody that is currently alive is shining with 3 elims yet. There's a lot of players with opportunities. AG's is 51 players remaining and moving in past the lake. Very open play here, and he sees that the target in front of him is getting shot from within that brick structure. So kind of a sandwich situation here. He could be the 3rd player here and go for elimination on someone that may be caught off guard. Brandon is the player up top. He's got Unicorn in front of him. Going to push up, maybe establish himself as basically a neighbor here, seeing we're at the very edge of the zone. You see on the map in the top right, he's going for a gatekeeping situation, watching for people rotating in, and that's why he's sitting up top. He's got the edit active on the triangle so he can look through the structure that is currently established there. Nobody can see him, but he can see everybody.
It's a pretty good spot to be in, especially in a battle royale. A look at Blue T, J Cuddy on the edge of the storm. They'll have to move on in. There are 49 players left, and this zone is getting very, very small. You'd expect the lobby to begin to drop quick, and here's the gatekeeping you mentioned. He's got the edit ready to basically be able to peek on up out of there like whack-a-mole at any moment.
Almost expect an edit and maybe go for a hunting rifle shot on that player that was rotating across the river. Horrify we saw earlier. I almost expected him to go down. That means this means he rotated out past Tempo, moving towards Loot Lake, trying to go for the safe zone. That's the key right now with 47 remaining. And
we haven't really talked about it a lot today, but you see these players, where they hit these trees, they drop them down to just 50 HP. For the viewers at home who might not realize, what is the thought process behind that if you're a pro player?
So if you finish a tree, the leaves kind of get kicked up in the air. There's an animation that plays that gives away position to these players that are extremely attentive to their surroundings constantly. So you see a tree go down, you know someone is harvesting that area, it's giving player location. That information can be incredible. That one, an easy knockdown because it's built within the structure, so it's not gonna give away too much. Plus, any materials are important. The players will opt to not finish trees very often, just so that they can remain as hidden as possible. Kevy here, 0. Elim sitting inside, well inside the safe zone, watching outside this little window, using the camera angle to look around the corner, not exposing himself, and watching for player rotations, an opportunity to take shots at literally anybody. You see Jailmock in the middle of that with popping a med kit, almost no HP remaining. Kevy in the feed, Vape Jesus getting an elimination on Turkey Lips, who we saw go absolutely crazy. Turkey Lips did have 3 Elims, though, before he went down. For everybody at home, that is a point secured, so we should feel great about that. And there's still 4 games left after this. He has many chances ahead of him. Blind in the feed getting elimination. Before we cut away to this very wide angle shot, you can see this shot is so important. You can see how many players are starting to build up around Loot Lake, a very uncommon location for players to favor because it's so exposed. Courage fighting in the water it slows you down, and you have to have that extra floor layer. You see even where Corroz is sitting here, there's nothing built underneath him. If you're on Loot Lake, you've got to use more materials to even build the same established location, and that can be tough, especially in late game situations where building is everything.
Jay Cuddy spraying with the SMG. Ecstatic was so weak, so that's a quick cleanup. Aiden just didn't stick the landing. That is Jay Cuddy's 3rd elim, which will put him with a point on the board. I believe that's 2 so far for him today. Blue T chasing this elim down. Look at how weak he is. He's got him down to just 1 shot. You'd expect Blue T to clean this up, but no, the launch pad to disengage. I think he's going to live to see another day.
I'm going to be surprised if he doesn't pick that double barrel up. There
Look
it
at
is.
the loadout.
There
My gosh. 7 minis, a big shield, 3 legendary weapons, and oops, drops him on in. And well, when you got a drum gun from that close and you'd have no shield, you're dead. There's no other way to put it.
I like the comment. Blind, the tracking on his opponent there. Powder went for a jump over the top to try and pull like a jump 180, and Blind, the accuracy during tracking and players that are moving that fast, that close to you, very high sense players, just because of the rate at which they have to build. But Blind is so accurate.
This is Animal, who's just hoping he can get a mini off or 2. Hysteria is still live. He's already in the next zone as well. 1 elim to his name.
38 remaining. There's this wide angle shot in the top right. You can see multiple players engaged already in the modern building over there. You have Hysteria kind of taking a look, gets the elimination on the Animal you see there in the feed.
And that's the right idea. He sees that fight, and he's saying, wait, that guy's probably weak. Let me try to spray this down in hopes he stopped for a second. That player, Bolt Naga, only had 25 HP. Yes, he's not able to finish the elim, but it's the right idea when you try to third party one of these fights. This is the 3rd elim for Cuddy from earlier on that we did see. Just sprays down with that SMG to put another board on the board.
Just after that as well, moments ago in the feed, Blind securing his 3rd elimination of this game gives him 1 point. He's very close inside the zone, but this is what we've seen. We saw this last game. We're going to see it again. A high player count in a very tight space. The next circle is when things are going to move, so Chaos will unleash soon here. You're going to see a lot of players holding hands. Blind getting another elimination that puts him at 4. 1 more is a 2nd point. The stink bombs coming out. These are very common for rooting players out. Competitive players, they don't necessarily use it in an aggressive manner all the time, but it's kind of like a way to track targets. They'll chuck it at structures that maybe someone's hiding inside just to get a location, because you can see the 5 damage numbers pop out. And it's like being able to see through walls almost. But this is Aiden. Someone we've watched. The fall damage in Loot Lake.
There's the live reaction again.
He's got a smile still on his face. He knows there's 4 games left. As we got to this, I don't know if he saw that somebody's flying literally at the camera, and this is the beginning of the nest. You see players flying out now. And
one big thing I do want to point out: all of our kind of top performers from back in Game 1, they're really not high up here at all on our scoreboard that I'm seeing. So this kind of lead that people had from the first match,
oh my gosh,
might not follow through. How stacked is that side of the zone?
The west side of the circle is a nightmare. We have a couple players that are established away from that, which is fantastic.
Here's the shot on the one side of the zone. Can we try to get that identical shot to the other side of the zone just to see what it's like?
The west side would be perfect. Base Soldier going down to Blind. Blind picking up his 5th elimination. That's 2 points for this game.
Blue T has 6 bounce pads. He can use these to maneuver so easily.
That means he's going to stay up top here. He doesn't have to start building to get away. He's already prepping for a move, moving ahead. There's 5 seconds left. He didn't even start when the zone started. He got ahead of it because he knows positioning early from last game showed up. It showed to be very important, but other players are going to watch him right there, getting shot from the side. Not a lot of damage. He still has a ton of shield left, 65 and 95 HP, so he's sitting pretty still. Can take even a heavy sniper rifle shot to the body, and he'll stay alive.
Oh, Jay Cuddy's got no healing. He's just hoping for a fifth limb for another point. I think that's kind of what he's playing around right now. He's going to
throw some rockets in.
Look to push on in as well. Absolute one-shot blue tee. Still with around 160 HP. Looks like Lasius just took down Bolt Naga. You see Joystick getting a limb in the engagement feed. 25 players left as we've made it into the zone. The quick little look at the picture-in-picture in the top right of just how hectic this truly is.
25 players remaining. Even though he's at 65 shield, popping the full just to get as much as he can. Late game, especially in these hectic moves, these players, that's why we saw a Chug Jug earlier last game, I believe, from Aiden for only 50 shield. You're not going to have the time to use that during situations like this. Everyone is going to listen for that and push.
Is Blind the only one that is not on the bottom layer? He's in a brilliant position to lay down damage. He's got bounce pad. He's got a bounce pad to fall. He's got rockets still in his inventory. A legendary assault rifle.
Hysteria picking up his second Elim. One more gets him a point and takes Tempo's vape. Jesus out. Oh. Jay Cuddy, who was looking for his fifth Elim, gets rocketed.
He's just up in a tower. That's 2 in a row that he's done this with. C9 Blind now at 6 limbs. He could go on a tear to the end of this game, Lupo. No one is contesting him at all.
Right. Look,
he's completely
nobody
safe.
else is as high as he is right now.
And it's so secured. That structure is so secured. He's going to have to move.
Still. The loadout is absolutely amazing. The shots gets at least one midair. Shield pack. Sees another player rotating. This is an opportunity for Blind to just take taps at everybody that's moving, because somebody might be 1 or 2 shots, and he's accurate enough. He can secure the 7th Elim. That'd be 3 points this game alone. There's players right in front of him. I'm surprised he's not taking shots at blue tee during a rotation, because he has layers. Even he could defend himself while moving. It looks like there's going to be a challenge. Drops himself down, takes a little bit of fall damage, but it's not enough to change his mindset about this engagement. He can still be aggressive. Gets the shot, the jump shot, the double barrel, so powerful.
And he's back to the high ground. He's not done yet, folks.
11 players
He's got more eyes on. The lobby dropping so quickly now. I believe we're down to our top 10 as this is already a 4-point game for Blind. We mentioned yesterday Tyler's had the incredible 6-point performance, the max you can earn from one game. Blind trying to do the same here. 8 now remaining. Sean was taken with a quick limb. Blind refreshes his assault rifle ammo. He was down to just 1 clip, and now he has 500.
It's not the only thing in his repertoire, too. The rocket launcher in the previous, 3-4 eliminations for him has been absolutely ridiculous. This amount of structure and how powerful.
No one can contest him up here.
It's crazy.
Oh, maybe a Portafort can.
Spoke too soon. Looks like somebody with the Portafort pushing up and taking an advantage. The Portafort destroys all the structure that it should, that it will break through. And Blind.
Look at how fast that was. Another Elim coming on in. Blind dropping all the way down. He's at 8. It's a 1v1. This is it. Can Blind win this game with a perfect score? Blind panicking. There it is. A 6-point game for Blind. As this man is now sitting pretty at the top of the standings.
I can't handle this courage. This is absolutely amazing. The plays, the plays. It's too much. We watched Blind earlier. Track targets.
Look at his shaking. Look at his hands shaking. Here it is again. The drop down. His drum gun wasn't loaded. His double barrel wasn't loaded. He had to spray with